Coming up on NCC News at 4, a cow pageant comes to Central New York. We'll have all the details.
Plus, gun versus sticks. Find out who won in this store robbery.
The new gun control legislation is creating a panic for gun owners across the state.
Cooler temperatures across Central New York, but what about rain? I'm Jared Cram, and I'll have your full weather forecast coming up. NCC News starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to NCC News at 4 p.m. I'm Rachel Marcus.
And I'm Mr. Elena Agolfapulu. The recent gun control laws have created a panic among gun owners across the state. That's our top story tonight.
The recently passed SAFE Act has created gun and ammunition shortages across the state. As gun owners rush to gun supply stores. Stephanie Jacobs is live in the sporting goods department at Ray Lynn in Syracuse. Stephanie, what have you found out?
But we think that gun owners across the country are rushing to buy guns, especially locally, and places such as Ray Lynn here, they have such shortages of ammunition, of guns like in front of me. They're very low on revolvers, they're low on shotguns, all this ammunition, because the panic created by the SAFE Act has created shortages. Like I said, customers have been stripping local stores of many supplies, and interestingly enough, it's not just seasoned gun owners, but also people who are brand new to buying guns, who have never owned one before. They're also coming to the stores in droves to really buy ammo and guns.
Empty spaces line the shelves of the sporting goods department at Ray Lynn in Syracuse. It's visual proof that the New York State gun control laws have ramped up the buying of guns and ammunition across the state. Manager David Steinberg said the SAFE Act has created a panic for gun owners and a shortage at gun shops.
Yeah, because they're worried about a shortage, they're worried about a year down the road and you got to do background checks and potential background checks and ammunition sales. People just don't want to do it. I think people are stocking up now, and in the process of everybody thinking about themselves and stocking up and buying years' supplies worth, is creating a national shortage.
Part of this shortage comes from individuals with little to no experience with guns who are rushing to stores to purchase them for the first time.
I'm actually a new gun owner. I just bought 2 pistols a couple weeks ago. I'm not worried about the background check. I'm just worried that you won't be able to get one.
As the gun control debate rages on across the nation, it looks like gun shops will continue to have empty shelves. Stephanie Jacobs, NCC News.
For more information about the New York State gun legislation, head on over to nccnewsonline.com.
Thanks, Steph. Meanwhile, the debate over gun legislation continues. In Washington earlier today, the Senate voted 68-31, clearing the way for debates on tighter gun control. More Republican support came after 2 senators struck a bipartisan deal yesterday. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin and Republican Senator Pat Toomey announced a pact that pushed more background checks for gun buyers, among other measures. All of this comes in the wake of December's Newtown shootings. Now, President Barack Obama said that this will help keep dangerous people from obtaining guns. However, the prospects for significant gun legislation to win congressional approval still remain uncertain. Now, after a 5-month break, Honeywell has once again resumed its dredging operation at Onondaga Lake. The dredging process has been deemed safe by the New York State DEC, but members of the Camillus Clean Air Coalition have sued Honeywell and are asking for an emergency injunction to stop the project. They point to an environmental report released earlier this week that says the polluted sludge pumped from the bottom of the lake to a dumping site in Camillus is venting toxic chemicals into the air. The DEC maintains that no harmful chemicals have been detected.
Show your equivalent to what we have put forth. Where's the DEC's equivalent of of the report done by Minich and Skoto? Where is it? Look for it. You won't find it.
Now, attorneys for the Clean Air Coalition will continue to seek a temporary restraining order to stop the dredging while they lobby for a better air monitoring equipment to gather evidence that the sludge is harmful to public health.
With spring-like weather finally here, community members are gathering this Saturday for the annual Cuse Cleanup event. Volunteers will spread out throughout the city, picking up litter, raking leaves, weeding, and cleaning up streets and sidewalks. It's sort of a fresh start for the citizens in this community to get their neighborhoods back in shape after a long winter where trash piles up under the snow. The event begins at 9 in the morning and goes through 1 o'clock. The city is expecting about 1,000 people to help in the initiative, and all volunteers will receive a t-shirt, water bottle, and will be provided with snacks. In the winter, we have to worry about snow and ice, and now most people are excited to be moving to spring. Green grass and blooming trees bring pollen and allergies. Pollen allergies shouldn't be affecting people too much right now, but a SUNY ESF professor says that's going to change.
I think what might happen is everything has been kind of ready to flower for a couple of weeks, but it stayed kind of cold. So we're going to see probably a big kind of burst of flowers in spring all of a sudden, and with flowers come pollen.
A recent study ranks Syracuse number 41 among the nation's top allergy cities.
Now, Mayor Stephanie Miner is getting her hands on the final 2013-2014 school budget today after the Syracuse School Board adopted the final plans last night. Now, this is a tighter plan from the one proposed in February. Let's take a look at it. Total spending will be less than originally planned at $365.4 million, even though that's $2.4 million less. This will allow the district to keep a few more teachers in schools, cutting about 81 jobs, and it will also keep more money in the reserve fund, allowing for more flexibility. Now, all these improvements come from an increase in state aid and grants. The Common Council is scheduled to host a public hearing on the entire city budget next month, and will vote on it in June. Now, clear skies this morning have turned to gray. Our weather reporter Jared Cram is live on the weather patio with the first look at our current conditions. Jared, is it as nasty out there as it looks?
Yeah, well, it just started to drizzle out here on the weather deck. Some current temperatures right now, we're at 40 degrees. Barometric pressure holding steady at 30 inches. Humidity's currently at 65%, pretty damp, pretty wet out here. And the winds are coming in from the northeast at 10 miles an hour. And taking a look at today's weather almanac from NCC News, and it's quite a bit below normal temperatures for this time of year. It appears that the cold April showers will bring those May flowers, but not quite as cold as 1909 when it was 19 degrees here in Syracuse. I believe that was during the William Howard Taft administration. I'll have the full weather forecast coming up in just a bit. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jared. Now, pregnant women who suffer from morning sickness may finally have some relief. 30 years ago, the FDA pulled a drug off the market that was supposed to help with morning sickness after hundreds of women filed lawsuits claiming the pill caused birth defects. But now, the FDA has approved a drug that will treat pregnancy-related symptoms like nausea and vomiting.
Pregnant women should feel very comfortable taking this drug.
According to the CDC, studies concluded that the original morning sickness pill did not increase the risk for birth defects.
Now, a new study found that black breast cancer patients are more likely to die than white patients, regardless of the type. For 6 years, researchers followed nearly 1,700 breast cancer patients. During that period, about 500 of the patients died. From the results, researchers found that black patients were nearly twice as likely as white patients to have died from breast cancer.
Many black women are struck with the disease when they're young, and those particular kinds of cancer that strike younger women seem to be stronger than normal cancer that strikes an older woman. So that's
Now, other factors such as poverty and racial inequality, not genetics, are responsible for these high mortality rates.
Coming up after the break, a Dallas area bus crash has left 2 people dead and 36 people sent to the hospital.
And a store owner fights back as armed robbers burglarize his store. We'll show you how he reacted as bullets went flying through his store. All that and more coming up. Welcome back. Now, a bus crash happened earlier today on a Dallas area turnpike that left 2 people dead and sent dozens to the hospital. The crash happened in Irving, Texas, when the bus rode on top of a barrier, hit the ground, and flipped on its side. 36 people were sent to the hospital. The bus was taking people to a casino in Oklahoma. The bus driver survived the crash, and the National Transportation Safety Board has a team investigating on the scene. Now take a look at this wild video. A robbery in Chicago turned violent when a store owner refused to give in, fighting off his thieves with a bat as bullets went flying. 2 men came into the souvenir shop and one began shooting and demanding cash. In the process, the thief accidentally shot his partner. The owner's brother threw a chair at one of the men as he ran out of the store. Police have arrested one of the 2 suspects. Now, new updates have emerged in the Georgia firefighters' hostage situation that ended last night. It's been revealed that the man who held 5 firefighters hostage on Wednesday apparently tricked them into his home by faking an illness. When the firefighters arrived at the scene, the man pulled a gun. The firefighters were held hostage until last night when a SWAT team came in and killed the hostage.
$216 miles per hour. If you thought your local police force drove fast, take a look at Dubai. The city in the United Arab Emirates has added new cars to its cavalry, Lamborghinis. The car with the $400,000 price tag won't be chasing anyone down soon, though. The plan is to place the cars in tourist areas to show off the classiness of Dubai.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Coming up after the break, our very own Jared Cram will be live in the studio for a full NCC News weather forecast. Found out what's in store for tomorrow's Syracuse Chiefs opening day, as well as what's in store for the rest of the weekend. Stay tuned.
It's cold and rainy across central New York today. NCC weather reporter Jared Cram has our full forecast. Jared, can we expect sunshine at least for the weekend?
Maybe this weekend. It's not really feeling like spring out here, but all the birds down at Onondaga Lake, they don't really seem to mind. They're enjoying this spring weather coming in for a landing. The current temperatures right now, it's 40 degrees. Barometric pressure at 30 inches, humidity at 65%, and the winds coming in from the northeast at 10 miles per hour. If we take a look at the Doppler radar right now, we've got a mix of rain and snow happening right now in northern Onondaga County. We've got some snow. Temperatures are staying at near 40 degrees, and it's really the same story throughout the state as well. In New York State, we're not really having a great time out there. 43 down in Binghamton, 37 in Syracuse, up in Messina, 32 degrees, and it's really sort of the same story when you take it nationwide. In the nation's capital, they're seeing some early signs of summer, mid-70s. Down in Augusta for the Masters, also mid-70s. But this storm in the Midwest, we're going to be watching that one here at NCC News, is causing some havoc and really cool temperatures here in the Rockies. Tonight, a mix of rain and wind, 36 degrees as the low. And tomorrow, we can expect pretty much the same thing, rain and wind, a high of 49 degrees. And taking a look at our full NCC News 5-day forecast, it's going to be 49 degrees on Friday, and that rain and high temperatures are hovering around 50 degrees. The sun comes back and sticks around to start the work week on Sunday and Monday, but the rain will again be with us on Tuesday. Higher temperatures at least, and into the 60s. And I know I'm going to try to get my golf clubs out this weekend. It looks like Sunday will be the day finally.
Yeah, I mean, how is the weekend looking so far? I mean, I know we have some rain ahead, but what is the sun actually going to be like? Is it going to last a while?
Well, it's not looking good for the Syracuse Chiefs home opener on Friday. It's looking like some rain, but if you stick around until Sunday, 60-degree temperatures, finally some sun.
Well, like last time this year, you know, spring was here, we were wearing shorts. I mean, where is it? Like, how much longer do I have to wait for some warm weather?
Well, some parts of the country are experiencing the spring and summer. Seems to be early. The cherry blossoms are in bloom down in Washington, D.C. We'll just have to wait here in central New York, it looks like.
I know, we've been waiting so long. Like, well, I can't wait for spring to come already. All right.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
Coming up after the break, a 14-year-old is headed to the Masters golf tournament, and we'll show you just how far one girl is willing to go to keep her favorite sport. We've heard of professional athletes going to extreme lengths to get back on the court after an injury, but what about those who play for fun? I spoke to one girl who, despite doctor's orders, continues to play her favorite sport. Let's take a look. Raice's dance troupe is the only Latino dance troupe on the Syracuse University campus. It was created in an effort to educate the community about the richness and diversity of the Latino culture through music and dance. And though many consider dance to just be another form of art, the members of this dance troupe still consider it to be a valid sport, willing to go to extreme lengths to follow their passion. Janina Quintana had back surgery in 2011, and despite the pain she continues to feel today, she refuses to let it stop her from dancing.
I couldn't sit for 2 weeks, and the stitches, I actually came back to school and I still had stitches on, so I couldn't move around a lot. I had to be very careful with my movements, but even though I kept dancing.
She started dancing when she was just a little girl. Growing up in the island of Puerto Rico, she says dancing was just a part of her everyday life. We don't run, she explains, we dance.
I felt my exercise life is basically dancing, and maybe that's why I've put on a little bit of weight.
The pain may at times be intolerable, but she continues to defy doctors' orders because to her and the rest of the troupe, dancing is more than just a sport.
And it's my stress reliever, perfectly.
So do you consider dance a sport?
Yes, I do. I do consider it a sport. It takes a lot of, doing dances one after the other it's energy consuming, definitely, and you need a good condition.
And how many hours? Janina has remained adamant about continuing to dance and won't let anything stop her from hitting the dance floor. And now to more traditional sports. The 7th-ranked SU lacrosse team rallied for a 13-12 win over number 2 Cornell last night. It was the team's biggest victory this year and Syracuse's first win against Cornell since 2010. The rivalry is at an all-time high, and SU and Cornell could meet again in May. SU's last 3 wins have come by just 1 goal. With a month left in the season, SU's postseason resume looks promising. The goal is to earn the number 1 seed over Villanova, but before then, Syracuse must beat Rutgers, who it faces this Saturday at 1 p.m. in the Carrier Dome. And now to SU basketball. Point guard Michael Carter-Williams announced his decision to enter the NBA draft with his draft stock at a high. He hopes to be taken in the lottery. And with the basketball season over now, SU players will have to meet with the coaches to review the season. Despite the loss of 2 seniors in Carter-Williams, 5 freshmen are coming in with the hopes of leading SU to a second straight Final Four. Speaking of basketball, the Syracuse Chiefs announced today that SU basketball player Brandon Trish will throw the first pitch at the team's opener on Friday, April 12th, against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs at 2 p.m. In the NBT Bank Stadium, the Chiefs stand 5-1 on the season after a successful opening road trip to Lehigh Valley and Buffalo. What do the names Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Gary Player have in common? That's right, they are all prestigious golfers. But today, a 14-year-old Chinese golfer will be added to the list of Masters record holders. Guan Tianlong earned his place at the top when he beat a host of senior players in last year's Asia Pacific Championship in Thailand.
All right, well, coming up after the break, we'll show you some cows that will want to strut their stuff for you. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Thousands of cows are getting makeovers at the state fairgrounds right now. They are receiving the ultimate beauty treatment, like fully brushed tails. They are in town competing at the New York Spring Dairy Carousel.
Now, if you can believe it, some of them are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. These beautiful cows will be competing for Best in Show titles this weekend.
They're being judged on conformation compared to the ideal true type model. It's very much like the Westminster Dog Show. You have the ideal and you're comparing, and the one that compares most closely to the ideal is the winner.
If these pretty cows are something you want to see up close, the show begins at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning and continues all weekend. Thanks for watching. I'm Rachel Marcus.
And I'm Mr. Atlantic Alpha Bulu. Have a good night, Syracuse.